Welcome to Crash and Learn Mission 6. We are doing an IVA-only Minmus landing. I am using a combination of IVA mods, mainly FreeIva for being able to freely move around in IVA mode, DE IVA extension for interactive controls, and Reviva for being able to switch between different IVA mods in-game. First, we need to decide which command pod we will be using. Let's have a look at the Mark I command pod IVA. We see two control screens, which is good. We can display two important full screen pages in parallel. Everything seems to be present: staging, time warp, landing gear. Let's look at the Mark II command pod. It does offer two screens per seat, which is a big plus. But can we keep our eyes on 4 monitors at the same time? I'm not sure. Everything else seems to be here as well. Interesting is that the controls go way up, even over the top of the Kerbal's heads. And last, the Mark III command pod. It also offers 4 full screen monitors, but provides one additional one on the side. So the question if we can even monitor so many displays even got worse here. Everything else seems to be similar. Because the Mark I command pod offers 2 monitors, and I think that 4 is already too much, I will go with the Mark I command pod. So let's start building our rocket. I chose a different style of presentation this time. In the past I tried just time lapses, for which I got mixed feedback. People didn't see the little details that they were looking for. Then I tried actual voiceover explaining each step, which I find okay, but a little too detailed sometimes. So this time we try something new. I have chosen a nice music track and cut the actions of putting parts on the rocket to the beat. I quite like the result. Let me know in the comments please which of the 3 ways you prefer, so I can adjust in the future videos. Now, let's go. Okay, we are ready. A rocket sits on the Launchpad. First challenge: how do we get to the UI to switch the IVA mod being used, since the command pod is hidden inside the fairing? Well, camera clipping to the rescue, somehow I made it. Good, so we're in. Get used to this perspective now, since we are not allowed to exit it for the rest of the video. Well, we'll go to the map view sometimes, but that's it. While skipping through the different features that are provided on the screens, I came across the cameras page. And quickly I noticed that we only seem to have 2 cameras. So here we have kind of crash number 1. If you remember, during building we placed down tons of cameras everywhere. But apparently those were the wrong cameras. And they don't seem to be supported by the IVA screens. That's sad, but now we have to deal with it. Learning number 1, make sure that the camera parts that you place are actually supported by the IVA mods that you use. So let's set our target, Minmus, and enable MechJeb Ascent Autopilot. We are ready to go. Let's launch. The camera pointing down provides an awesome perspective of the KSC getting smaller and smaller below us. Now we reached the coasting phase and have some time to play with the controls. As you can see, the cameras are also controllable. After we finished the circularization burn, step 1 is a success. We made it to low Kerbin orbit. We can now stage the empty first stage. Next up, instructing MechJeb to calculate the transfer and intercept with Minmus. I struggle a lot to do it with the on-screen controls. In the end, we faced Krash number 2. It didn't really do what it was supposed to do. I don't really know why, and since we are working with a 1-hour time constraint, if you remember, I refrained to using the map view and the standard MechJeb UI to create the maneuver node. Learning number 2, spend enough time beforehand learning how to properly set up the stuff with the on-screen menus, before trying to do it on the fly with a tight time constraint. So this one worked perfectly and we have our encounter, yay! Now we need to circularize. Let's try to do that with the on-screen controls as well. Krash number 3, well, same result, it didn't quite work out. Not sure why, so we refrained to the map view on standard MechJeb UI again. There is no real learning here this time, since I have no idea why it failed exactly and it was a pilot error or MechJeb error. And this worked, of course. We are on a Minmus orbit. Next up, landing. We can now stage the second stage that brought us to Minmus. And of course, deploy the landing leg. This time we don't rely on the on-screen menus. They didn't work so well in the past, right? And we're running out of time. And this is where our 1-hour countdown hits 0. We did not make it in time. We made it to Minmus and we made it to a landing approach trajectory, but that's it. Mission failed. But of course, as always, I don't want to keep the satisfaction of the landing from you and also the visuals. So we continued with the landing, well knowing that we are outside the time window by now. So let's select one of the icy plains of Minmus for our landing spot and go. Of course, as always in these videos, we are landing in the dark and you can't see that much. Glad we have some graphs at least. And there it is, we made it, we landed on Minmus. Let's time warp to daytime to be able to see something. Let's have a look at what we learned from the crashes of Crash and Learn Mission 6. Learning number 1. Always make sure the parts, for example cameras, that you use are supported by the mods. Learning number 2. Training is most important before starting a mission. Make sure you know how to use the systems, so you don't have to find out, or not, on the fly how they work. Of course, it's part of this format to embrace this kind of chaos, but for your normal missions, make sure you know what to do before you launch. And that's it for Crash and Learn Mission 6. Unfortunately not a success, because we didn't make it in time, but we learned some important lessons again. If you like the format, the next mission will be building a gravity ring station and bring it to a lunar polar orbit. That's gonna be fun. I never really was into station building that much, so this is going to be another first try for me. See you there. Bye bye.